At Love's Edge, Episode 2, Captive Paradise. The next morning, Jamaica looked like heaven again. Sunlight spilled across the cliffs outside Tyler Bronson's mansion, while turquoise waves rolled peacefully against the rocks below as if the storm had never happened at all. But inside the estate, the tension remained. Mila stood barefoot near the guest suite balcony doors, staring at the ocean with folded arms, while Kendra paced nervously behind her.
"This is insane,"
Kendra whispered.
"We are literally trapped here."
Naya sat curled on the edge of the bed, clutching a cup of coffee provided by a young maid earlier that morning.
"I don't think we have a choice right now."
Kendra turned toward Mila desperately.
"Say something."
But Mila stayed quiet, because the truth was, she didn't know what to think anymore. Part of her wanted to believe Tyler Bronson was exaggerating everything to control them. But another part remembered the look on his face when that phone was discovered. That wasn't fake. That wasn't manipulation. That had been real concern. And somehow, that unsettled her even more.
A knock suddenly sounded at the suite door.
All three women froze instantly. Then a calm female voice spoke through the wood.
"Breakfast's ready downstairs."
The tension eased slightly. Kendra exhaled.
"Oh my God, I thought we were getting arrested."
Nia gave a nervous laugh. Mila walked toward the door cautiously. When she opened it, a woman dressed in a maid uniform stood outside smiling warmly. Unlike everyone else in this house, her kindness felt genuine.
"Good morning, miss."
The woman said softly.
"Mr. Bronson asks that you ladies join him for breakfast in the dining room."
Mila hesitated, then answered. "Okay, we will, thank you." The woman nodded politely.
"My name is Peggy."
Kendra immediately appeared beside Mila. "Peggy, please tell me your boss isn't actually keeping us hostage." The woman sighed, the sigh of someone deeply tired of rich people's problems, yet she kept her warm smile in place.
Mr. Tyler is
She searched carefully for the right words.
very protective."
"Protective?" Mila repeated.
"He threatened to send us to jail."
Peggy gave Mila a knowing look and nodded.
"Yes."
She laughed.
"That sounds like him."
Downstairs. The dining area overlooked the ocean through enormous glass walls.
Tyler Bronson sat at the head of a long table laden with all kinds of tropical fruits and expensive coffee.
Reading financial reports like last night hadn't happened at all. His gray-fitted shirt stretched across broad shoulders while sunlight illuminated the sharp lines of his face. Power radiated from him effortlessly, dangerously. Kendra whispered,
"Why does he look richer in daylight?"
Nia elbowed her immediately. Tyler slowly looked up from the papers.
His eyes landed on Mila first. Of course they did.
Then calmly,
"Sit."
Mila frowned instantly. "I'm not your employee."
"No.
Tyler replied smoothly.
At the moment, you're my liability."
Kendra whispered under her breath.
"Oh, he's rude."
Tyler ignored her completely. Mila placed her hands on the table.
"I want my phone back."
Tyler took a slow sip of coffee.
"No."
Her temper immediately flared.
"You cannot keep our things."
I can if your phones are potentially compromised.
Mila stepped closer to the table. And how exactly would you know that? Tyler finally looked directly at her again. And somehow that eye contact alone felt confrontational.
Because unlike tourists,
He said calmly.
I understand how these people operate.
Mila crossed her arms. There you go again.
There I go. What?
Talking to us like we're stupid. A dangerous silence followed. Tyler leaned back slowly in his chair.
I don't think you're stupid.
His gaze lowered briefly.
I think you're reckless.
The words hit harder than Mila expected, because part of her knew he wasn't entirely wrong. Still, she refused to give him the satisfaction. You don't know anything about me. Tyler's expression darkened slightly.
I know enough.
Mila stared at him, and suddenly the attraction between them became harder to ignore. Not softer, not romantic, sharp, like friction, like two storms colliding. Kendra cleared her throat loudly.
So,
She said nervously.
what exactly happens now?
Tyler finally shifted his attention away from Mila.
My security team, along with local police, are investigating the scam operation.
And until then? Nia asked quietly.
You remain here.
Mila laughed once in disbelief. You really enjoy controlling people, don't you?
He looked at her, calm, intimidating. The entire atmosphere shifted as Tyler's eyes roamed over her carefully. Every instinct in her body screamed at her to step back. She didn't. Only inches separated them.
You think this is about control?
Tyler asked softly.
Mila lifted her chin.
I think men like you always need something to own.
The air changed instantly. Tyler's jaw tightened. Something personal flashed across his face for the briefest second. Pain. Then it vanished. When he spoke again, his voice had gone colder.
You should be very careful assuming you understand men like me.
Mila's pulse quickened despite herself. And you should stop assuming all American women are shallow. A long silence. Then unexpectedly, Tyler smiled, the first real smile she'd seen from him. And somehow, that was worse, because it made him devastatingly handsome.
You're exhausting.
He murmured. Kendra whispered behind them.
Oh, they want to kiss so bad. Nia, Mila snapped. That was Kendra, Nia said in her defense.
Tyler looked away briefly, hiding what almost looked like amusement. Almost.
Ladies.
Tyler's voice carried the easy authority of someone accustomed to being obeyed.
Breakfast is getting cold.
A brief pause.
Please.
They all knew who the please was for. The table was laden, sliced mango and pineapple glistening in the morning light, pastries, steaming coffee, and a spread of Jamaican dishes that filled the air with something warm and savory. Kendra and Nia descended on it without ceremony. Mila wrapped both hands around her coffee and did not reach for anything else. Across the table, Tyler Bronson reached for his cup without looking at her. He took a slow sip of his coffee. Mila watched his throat work as he swallowed, then caught herself and looked away. The ocean breeze carried the scent of salt and something floral, hibiscus maybe, from the garden below. Her stomach clenched, not from hunger, but from the tension that seemed to thicken the air between them.
You should eat.
Tyler said without looking at her.
You'll need your strength.
For what?
The words came out sharper than she intended. But she did not get the answers as Andre suddenly entered the room quickly. His serious expression immediately drew everyone's attention.
Boss,
Tyler turned. Andre lowered his voice.
we found one of the men connected to the phone.
The room fell silent. Tyler's face hardened instantly.
And
Andre hesitated, then
He says that the phone was definitely tracking the women.
Mila felt cold all over. Andre continued carefully.
Boss, they know they're here.
Silence. Heavy silence. Then Tyler slowly looked toward Mila again. This time there was no arrogance in his eyes, only warning. And for the first time since arriving in Jamaica, Mila truly became afraid. Later that evening, Mila returned to the balcony. The night before, rain had swept across the ocean in gray curtains. Now the sun melted gold along the Caribbean horizon, and the water below caught and scattered it in 1,000 directions. She should have been lying on a beach somewhere, taking pictures, dancing, laughing with her friends. Instead, here she was hiding from criminals and trapped inside the mansion of a man she couldn't stop thinking about. And she hated herself for it. Soft footsteps sounded on the marble floor. She turned. Tyler stood at the doorway. Without anger, just him. His eyes moved briefly toward the ocean before returning to her.
Peggy says you haven't eaten.
Maybe I lost my appetite after being threatened all day.
Tyler sighed quietly. Then, to her surprise, he stepped onto the balcony beside her. Close, too close.
Still think I'm the enemy?
He asked. Aren't you? Tyler looked out toward the sea.
For your sake,
He murmured softly.
I hope I'm the worst thing you encounter in Jamaica.
The words settled heavily between them. Then finally Mila asked the question that had been haunting her since last night. Why do you dislike me so much? Tyler looked at her slowly. Really looked at her. And for the first time, she saw something dangerous hiding beneath his calm exterior. Not anger, not hatred, recognition. As if she reminded him of something he'd spent years trying to forget.
You ask too many questions.
He said quietly. Then he walked away, leaving Mila alone on the balcony, thinking about him long after she should have stopped. When Mila woke the next morning, sunlight flooded the guest suite through sheer white curtains while waves crashed softly below the cliffs. And somehow, thinking about Tyler annoyed her more than ever. Because attraction was dangerous, especially toward a man like him. A man who controlled everything around him. A man who clearly enjoyed power. Still, she couldn't stop replaying the way he'd looked at her last night after she asked why he hated her. That expression hadn't been hatred. It had been something far more complicated. And Mila didn't know which frightened her more. Late morning. For the first time since arriving at the estate, the women were allowed outside under security supervision. Kendra nearly cried from happiness.
Oh my God! Fresh air!
She shouted dramatically, while stepping onto the massive stone terrace overlooking the ocean. Nia laughed. We were inside for one day. It felt like prison, Kendra laughed. Mila followed more slowly. The estate was breathtaking in daylight. Multiple infinity pools curved along the cliffs. Tropical gardens overflowed with orchids and palm trees. Private cabanas overlooked the sea below. Somewhere farther down the property, she could hear soft reggae music drifting from another section of the estate. Tyler Bronson lived like royalty. And somehow, that irritated her too. Mila had noticed that there were now security guards posted at the gates and all around the estate. Andre walked several feet behind them alongside another security guard. Kendra glanced backward nervously. Are they seriously following us everywhere?
Yup.
Andre answered calmly. Comforting, Kendra muttered. Mila headed down the steps to the cliff landing overlooking the ocean below. The girls followed closely behind her. For a long while, they all stood in awe, admiring the scene before them. The water was impossibly beautiful. Bright turquoise blending into deeper shades of blue farther out. For a brief moment, she forgot the danger, forgot Tyler, forgot everything. Then a voice behind her said,
You should wear sunscreen. The sun can be brutal out here.
Mila turned sharply. Tyler stood nearby, wearing a fitted white linen shirt, partially unbuttoned at the collar and dark trousers. The ocean wind moved softly through his clothes. And unfortunately, the man looked unfairly attractive in daylight. Mila crossed her arms immediately.
I think I can survive the sun.
Tyler stepped beside her at the railing.
With your attitude, doubtful.
Kendra made a choking noise somewhere behind them. Nia grabbed her arm instantly to stop her from speaking. Mila narrowed her eyes. Do you practice being insufferable? Tyler looked out toward the ocean.
Only around people who deserve it.
Their eyes locked again. That dangerous tension returned instantly. Sharp, hot, uncomfortable, and somehow impossible to avoid. Tyler glanced briefly toward Andre.
Give us a minute.
Andre hesitated slightly, then nodded before leading the others across the landing and up the steps. The moment they were alone, Mila turned toward Tyler fully. You enjoy this.
This?
Keeping people under your control. Tyler's jaw tightened faintly.
You really believe you understand me after 2 days?
I understand arrogant men perfectly. That hit something. Mila saw it immediately. A shadow crossing his expression before disappearing again. Tyler stepped closer slowly.
And what exactly do you think you know about men like me?
Mila lifted her chin.
That eventually everything becomes ownership with you.
Silence. The tropical wind moved softly between them. Then Tyler spoke quietly.
You have no idea what kind of man I am.
The intensity in his voice made Mila's pulse quicken, because suddenly this conversation no longer felt playful. It felt personal, dangerously personal, before she could answer. There were shouts from the security team at the gates, and then a loud engine roared across the estate entrance. Both of them turned instantly. A black luxury SUV sped aggressively through the gates and up the driveway. Andre and the other security guards reacted immediately. Tyler's entire demeanor changed in seconds. Cold, alert, protective, grabbing her wrist and ushering her behind him as they headed up the steps. The SUV stopped sharply near the mansion entrance. Then a glamorous woman stepped out wearing oversized sunglasses and an expensive white dress that hugged every curve of her body. The tension around Tyler hardened instantly. Mila noticed, and for reasons she absolutely refused to examine, something ugly twisted unexpectedly inside her chest. The woman removed her sunglasses slowly. Beautiful hazel eyes locked directly onto Tyler.
Well, she said smoothly, her eyes shifting immediately to Mila. This explains why you've been ignoring my calls.
Mila frowned. Tyler looked less than pleased.
Vanessa.
The woman's gaze slowly shifted to Tyler, then back to Mila, and immediately sharpened.
Oh.
She murmured softly. Now Mila understood. This was not just some random visitor. This was history. Dangerous history. Vanessa walked toward them gracefully. Every movement elegant, calculated. Her eyes moved over Mila slowly before returning to Tyler.
You replace me quickly. Did the storm blow this one in?
Mila almost laughed from disbelief. Tyler's expression darkened instantly.
Don't start.
Vanessa smiled without warmth.
That depends. Am I interrupting something?
She tilted her head to Mila. Mila folded her arms.
I couldn't care less.
Vanessa looked directly at her and smiled. But it was the kind of smile women used before destroying each other socially.
Oh, American!
Mila immediately disliked her, deeply. Tyler stepped between them subtly. Small movement. But Mila noticed. Vanessa noticed too. And judging by the flash of irritation in her eyes, she hated it. Interesting. Very interesting. Vanessa looked toward Tyler again.
I came because we need to talk privately.
We have nothing to discuss.
That's funny,
Vanessa replied smoothly.
considering our lawyers disagree.
Mila's attention sharpened immediately. Lawyers? Tyler's expression became unreadable. Vanessa lowered her voice slightly.
We need to talk about the missing money.
A dangerous silence followed. Mila watched Tyler carefully. For the first time since meeting him, she saw genuine anger flash beneath his calm exterior. Not irritation, not arrogance, rage. And suddenly the billionaire who intimidated everyone around him looked genuinely dangerous. Vanessa noticed too, but instead of fear, she looked satisfied, like she enjoyed provoking him. Tyler spoke quietly.
You need to leave.
Vanessa stepped closer.
Or what?
The atmosphere became suffocating instantly. Andre moved subtly nearer. The other guards looked tense too. Then unexpectedly, Vanessa looked directly at Mila again and smiled slowly.
You should be careful around him.
Tyler's voice turned deadly calm.
Enough.
But Vanessa ignored him completely.
He destroys everything he touches, eventually.
Mila felt Tyler's anger shift instantly. Not toward Vanessa, toward himself, and somehow, that reaction unsettled her more than the warning itself. Vanessa finally stepped backward toward her SUV.
But maybe,
She said softly to Mila.
you'll learn that the hard way too.
Then she left. The gates closed behind her moments later. Silence settled over the estate. Heavy silence. Mila slowly looked toward Tyler. But he no longer looked like the composed billionaire she'd been arguing with for days. He looked exhausted, haunted, and before she could stop herself, she asked quietly, "What missing money?" Tyler stared toward the ocean for several long seconds. Then finally,
Stop asking questions you aren't prepared to hear the answers to.
and walked away, leaving Mila standing beneath the Caribbean sun.
She wanted answers more than she should have, and she couldn't stop wondering whether Tyler Bronson's reasons for keeping them there were the ones he'd given or something else entirely.